Well, we're back from the farm show and back to reality. Instead of looking at new shiny equipment, we're looking at my old equipment, and we're gonna beat and bang on it like we always do. Got to get up here and check the hydraulic fluids in the old excavator. Let's see how they look. Look at that, right on the money. Get up here and check the Earl. See if I can get them all off. They look like the same too. Wow, that's quite a bit of difference. Lots of difference. Everywhere they go, every which way but lose. They've been coming out surprisingly easy. How do you know your old machine is wore out? Well, you can take a pair of vice grips and just pull the pin out. Yeah. like everything in my life, it can never be simple. They had to weld some. Now I can't see if the hole's lined up. Good job, Dylan. Pick up. Yeah, we got the disco going on down here today. So, bringing y'all back to the live action broadcast here, we got our bucket teeth. They fit on the shank, guess that's what you call it, fine, but the holes are bigger. These are bigger, and if I can find them, the pins are bigger than the shank on ours, the old teeth. There's the hole for them. So bought these off of eBay. That was probably my first mistake. They sent me these the first time, backhoe teeth, but we're gonna go and put these on here. What we're doing, I ordered these like 3 months ago, and I don't want to deal with the aggravation of messing with them on eBay. So what we're doing, you can hear the grinder running over there. Robert's taking a nut and he's rounding the edge off a little bit, and then I'm drilling the inside of the nut out to fit these pins. I actually have some new pins and new whatever the crap you call these things. I ain't up on my Traco terminology, but we're drilling the inside of the nut out to fit the pin and putting the nut in here and tacking them in there with a MIG welder, and then when we drive it on, everything fits nice and tight. We do have some slop. The pins fit good and tight like they're supposed to. We do have some slop in our teeth when you put them on up and down and side to side, but that old machine has several hours on it. That old bucket, the holes in it are egg shaped. But you know, if I was a professional, oh yeah, and this started a mist on us. If I was a professional and that machine was running every day, all day, I'd probably look into it a little more. But for just the old farm machine, we're gonna rock on with what we got. Bob's. See there, that's what we was talking about. Tapping the nuts down in there, and now I got to drill the inside of the hole out to fit the pin. So if I know there's been several people tell me that they run one of these E120Bs in the past. If you know the appropriate part number for these bucket teeth, if you don't mind, put it on there, because I have looked and looked and looked, and I thought this was finally it, but it ain't exactly right. So if you know the right number for the bucket teeth, please let me know. Using the old trusty micrometer here to measure the size of the pin so I can get the appropriate size bit. Down there when we was working in the field, I got some step bits I carry on the truck, and I just use them, but it does kind of make a tapered hole, which is good in some aspects, but I'd rather have the appropriately sized hole where this fits tightly and properly. So it looks like we need, I'm just going by millimeters because it's kind of easier to read. Need a 14.5 millimeter. Well, I keep forgetting everything on this Traco is Japanese made and is metric. But this pin measured 14.5 millimeters, and a 5/8 drill bit measures 15 millimeters. So looks like we're going to be using a 5/8 drill bit, which is odd because we're using a 5/8 nut. So you think that pin would go right on through there, but it does not. But it will when we get done. I guess the threads are actually smaller than the 5/8 because when you get off the threaded part of the boat, you know that part won't go through. So, and that's the actual 5/8 part. So, learning more all the time. Let's get these hoses ready. One down. 3 more to go. Well, with a little bit of ingenuity, we're down to one. She's there you can see where we welded the bushing in there. There's the pin coming through there. I've seen, we're gonna try it like this. I've seen where some guys like weld a washer over there to try to keep their pins from coming out. Definitely looks much better. She ain't gonna be snaggle tooth anymore. Hope you ain't squeamish at the sight of blood. Alright, let's knock this on, last one on. This is the last, this goes there. It looks like we're short a pin, but we got a pin on the back of the truck.
Looks like the straightest one.
See, I thought knocking them pins out was gonna be the hardest part, but it wasn't. See how them holes is egg shaped in there? It's just lots of time. That goes in there like that, and then that bucket tooth slips over, and the pin slides in, and then you hammer the crap out of it. That first little initial is kind of tricky. That's how I knocked the skin off my finger. There it goes. I'm sure somebody that knows more than what we do tell us where we went wrong. I'd appreciate it if you knew the exact bucket tooth number to let us know. It could stand to come in a little more, Robert. Oh. What we done to do all these is we took that long rod there and run it through the holes on all of these, and we used it to knock these pins in. But, man, definitely looks a lot better. It ought to help her on her digging. Make it easier to pick up those make it easier to pick up lambs and stuff too. Well, welcome back. I don't know how well you can hear me. I'm taking down this last little tree here. I'm fixing to start piling it up. This old fence row between the hay field and the 40-acre church field on the Sims home place. So, getting it dug up. I'm fixing to start piling. I'm little rusty. I ain't made as much progress as I'd like to have. Which I picked a fight with a big oak tree and it won. Got one pretty good sized tree I gotta fish out and get it turned. See if I can't start piling this stuff. Chaos right now, but maybe I'm ready. Started out looking for a track hoe. I wanted an 18,000 pound machine. I ended up with a 30,000 pound machine. And I am glad I did not get any smaller. I can do 90% of what I want to do pretty easy. But there's about 10%, especially clearing all this old stuff, where I need just a little bigger machine. I can get it done, it just be faster with a bigger machine. Get out of there, dirt. One thing I can do, I can pick these limbs and stuff up a little easier since I put them new bucket teeth on. Alright, let's go over here and grab these other trees and start piling them. Well guys, I guess this is where we'll finish up the video. Will not be any track hole work today, as you can tell. It has come what I call one of them thunder boomers. It started at about, I don't know, it woke me up at about 6 o'clock this morning raining, and it's been raining pretty steadily ever since. So won't be no track hole work today. I was going to give y'all some more footage and kind of come up with a conclusion to this video. But I hope you enjoyed watching us put those bucket teeth on that track hoe. It's my first time to ever do that. It actually went a lot easier than I thought it was. So we're just, today's gonna be office work, and I may make a video about that, showing the hidden side of farming coming up there at another time, because there's a lot of aspects of farming that we don't show, and this year I'm going to try to do a little better job of showing and explaining why we do what we do. I'm going to try to do a little better job of that this year. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Looking down, I'm riding and inspecting, seeing how our pipes are doing that we put in. This number 1, it's pretty full. It ain't run around yet, but it's pretty full. Number 2's doing good. I was just showing y'all, I talked about it in a previous video. These, y'all will get a chance to see how these terraces work. Instead of all that water just running straight off that hill, you see how these sediment basins slow it down? They're, I guess you could call it a berm or hills of dirt with pipes in it. And that pipe meters the flow of the water off the hill. And I most time call them a silt basin is what I call them. By slowing that water down, you allow any dirt that is trapped in that water that is eroded off the hill to settle out to the bottom, and clean water runs out instead of the water running off the hill down there to the creek and taking your topsoil with it. So that's why we're a big believer in silt basins. Before we built those basins, see, this big basin has always been here, and then there was a big, that fourth basin was always down there. But you would, before these pipes come out on top of the ground, well, you would have a ditch between number 1 and number 4. Well, we added these other 2 basins in there in between it, and then we run all the pipe underground, so that water is going underground until it gets down there to the flat ground. But I like what I'm seeing. They're working like they're supposed to be. I don't see any of them that's run over yet. That 5th one down there is the one we run the new 8-inch pipe to. Before, it just had a 6-inch pipe in it, and it was all the time running over. So we put the 8-inch pipe in it to carry more flow, and it looks like it's working like it's supposed to be. That green wheat on that ground holding it, it really helps. And then last year we had a cover crop on that field, and when I took that field over ditches, and it was terrible. I mean, there was some waist deep ditches and spots, but we worked and 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 worked some more, and we got it in pretty good shape now. But y'all be sure to like and subscribe to the Old Joyce Brothers Farms if you like what we're doing. Let's go in here and do some office work. Fun, fun, fun.